You are listening to.
You're listening to.
You're listening to.
You're listening to Noel Johnson. Noel Johnson.
Noel Johnson
On Lockdown.
Lockdown.
Lockdown Radio. Radio.
Radio. Lockdown Radio.
Live today. Lockdown Radio.
Oh, we just love South African music. My featured artist coming up in a little while is Carmen Rodriguez. Looking so forward to featuring her on the show today. She's fantastic. And then on Friday, I'm going to be featuring Parable 15. This is ahead of them releasing their brand new single on Friday as well, which you'll get to hear right here on Lockdown Radio, because we'll be playing it as one of the first bunch to play this song. Okay, of course, Parable 15, a South African country rock band with numerous awards, 2 studio albums, which have several chart-topping singles. Known as the most popular country music band in the country, in the past few years, Parable 15 have made strong inroads into the live music scene, gigging intensively and being playlisted on radio in South Africa with several #1 hits. Joining me now on the line, I've got the front man and lead vocalist, Marc Skarda. Marc Skarda, welcome to Lockdown Radio.
Oh, Noel, thanks for having me, man. Cool to be here.
Now, Marc, we're in week 3 of the lockdown, and music has generally come to a standstill. What have you guys been up to in these 3 weeks of lockdown?
Yeah, 3 weeks, man. That's a long time. To be honest with you, not much. We haven't, obviously, as a band, got together because we actually abide by the law and all those things. But it's been interesting. You know, we were supposed to be on tour as we speak, and that's kind of all fallen apart. And it's been really difficult to keep our heads in the game and try and figure out what we're going to do. And it's kind of interesting how, you know, the nobody knows what to do in this situation. You know, when you know, we're promoting a record and we're putting out songs, and not even the record companies know what to do in a situation like this. And we have been in contact with our American friends and record companies, and trying to figure out the way to go about this thing. So just a whole lot of Facebook kind of marketing stuff that's been in the preparations. We have stayed away from the live thing because ultimately it's saturated, and there's great music and great artists out there playing online every day. So we've just been sort of dealing with all of the behind the scenes things like artwork and photographs and mixing and mastering and all that fun stuff that nobody really gets to see, which I think is kind of fitting for this whole lockdown thing.
It is indeed. You know, you got a bit of time to play with and whatever. Now, I've got to ask you this question. Being in lockdown, and it's obviously uncertain times, the timing of this release, and we're going to talk more about the release in just a little bit, but the timing of this release on Friday, it could go either way. I mean, you could have a captive audience, or you could have nobody listen to radio. What was the thinking behind the timing?
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a whole discussion if we were to take the social media thing as a whole, and as musicians releasing music, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? You know what? It is interesting. It could be very good for us. We have no idea what's going to happen. At the end of the day, I think the main thing is to not kind of just sit and do nothing. We're hearing these key phrases like flatten the curve. For us, it's getting ahead of the curve. Generally, we would be on tour at the moment. We would be promoting this new album by playing in front of people all the time. And we just decided to use this time to connect with people like yourselves and people all over the country, radio stations, TV stations, whatever, and use this time to do remote interviews to kind of, promote what we're going to be doing. And hopefully by the time this is all over, there'll be a little bit of momentum that we can get out there and back it up with some live performances. So obviously we've got fingers crossed, and we're holding thumbs, and we've got lucky charms and all those things that we're hoping that this is going to make some kind of impact. And I think ultimately it's better to do something than do nothing. If we take the whole social media thing on a whole, we live in interesting times where we do have the world at our fingertips, the ability to get our music out to multiple different countries and places all over the world is a privilege. But at the same time, it also means that people are saturated with different types of music and different types of artists, and it's difficult to get somebody's attention. But I think the trick is to write great music. The trick is to work really hard on it and make sure that what you put out there is absolutely world class. And I think we've done that with this song and this album. It's taken a long time to get here. Parable 15 is 10 years old this year, and we really believe that these songs are going to make a difference. I think these songs are the most refined and relevant music for where we are as a band, and I think that people hopefully are going to appreciate the effort and the time coming out of a small little Durban band.
Now, there's so much I love about that answer, and talking about getting in front of the curve and stuff like that. And I'd love to unpack that more with you in a future interview and talk about 10 years already. My goodness, and you guys are still rocking. Now, you've got a new single dropping this Friday. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it? Let us know what we're in for.
Yep, 10 years. And yeah, it's interesting, you know, how things develop over time. This new single is called Telling Your Heart. It's a very interesting song that I'm really looking forward to people hearing and getting some feedback on. You know, it was written about kind of, you know, we all have those situations where you hear these cliche things like, you know, love is blind, and when you're in it, you can't see around it, all those kind of things. And I think everybody can relate to this idea of your head telling your heart that this is not a good idea, whatever that may be. Personally, from a personal perspective, I am an eternal optimist. I have probably the most forgiving sort of mentality of people that I know of, and I have been caught many times being hurt by different situations by being forgiving and giving people another chance. So it's a song a little bit about your head telling your heart that maybe you should just check this out before you go and do something again, go and forgive, or go and get yourself back into another situation where you could potentially end up being on the back foot. So it's a really rocking track. It's rock and roll, man. You know, we have had multiple different formats of this band in terms of 3-piece, 4-piece, 2-piece, all those kind of things. And this is a 4-piece rock band, no gimmicks, no backing tracks, nothing. It's just rock and roll. And we are super excited about the future of where we are. And this song kind of encases exactly what our new sound and new sonic sort of value is as a band.
Well, that's fantastic, and I'm really excited to play it on Friday, as well as have you as our featured artist on Friday, Parable 15, that is. And talking about featured artists, our featured artist today is Carmen Rodriguez, and you've done quite a bit of work with Carmen Rodriguez in recent times, especially with her latest album.
Yeah, cool, man. Carmen is an interesting artist, had some ups and downs as well, and also been in the business a long time. And I recently worked with her on her new record, Let It All Go. You know, we spent some time writing and producing these songs in studio, and yeah, it's really cool to see that she's also kind of pushing it hard and trying to get out there and trying to make it happen. Hard to do it in these times, hard to be a solo artist. And you know, it's interesting how there's a different sort of feel on what works within the music industry in today's times. For her, playing in restaurants and bars and clubs and those kind of things seems to work. You know, before all of this nonsense and the lockdown and all of that stuff, she was, you know, making a living playing music live, and that is really difficult to do. We have, as Parable 15, we have, you know, definitely stayed away from the covers thing and playing, you know, in bars and restaurants. We're a show band. We play for an hour and a half, and we've stuck to our guns in terms of that. We don't really do the 4-hour shows where we're playing, you know, everyone else's songs, and that has been something that we've stuck to for the longest time. But it's also, you know, it's hindering in a way. So it's great to see that, you know, there are different avenues where musicians can express what they do and get their music out there, and people seem to respond. So that's huge, and it's cool that you're having her on. You know, she's got some great songs that I was very privileged to have a part in, and so whatever songs you are featuring today, I'm obviously very proud of them having been the guy that produced and put the record out for her. So yeah, it's awesome.
Absolutely. And then on Friday, we're going to be focusing on Parable 15 and a lot of your originals. Marc Skarda from Parable 15, the front man, thank you for joining us and good luck with the single release. We are super excited to be playing it on Friday and really look forward to seeing your name in lights for many, many years to come.
Oh, thanks so much, man. We really appreciate you having us on and building some hype around this new song. Friday, Telling Your Heart by Parable 15 comes out all over the country, different radio stations, different TV shows. We're not putting it on Spotify and Apple Music and all of those things. What we're going to be doing is releasing it as a lyric video on YouTube as well as Facebook for people to go and listen to. And yeah, we're going to be releasing the album all over on every digital platform there is, as well as obviously physical copies. But yeah, we're really, really excited about it. I think this record is amazing. If you want to check out a little bit more, please go to Facebook and follow Parable 15, Instagram, YouTube, all those things. Go and like, share, follow, all those things. It really helps us to kind of build our brand and the algorithms within those social networks. It helps us to get up to the top. So if you want to support local music, South African music, and something that is different and good, we really appreciate your support. So thanks so much, man, and we will see you soon.
That's Marc Skarda. Thank you for joining us. And yes, that's right. This coming Friday, we'll be dropping that single right here on Lockdown Radio. So there you have it. We're going to be having a lot of fun with that. Coming up in just a few minutes, we've got Carmen Rodriguez in the house.
You are listening to
You're listening to
Noel
Johnson
Johnson
on Lockdown Radio.
Lockdown Radio.
Live today. Lockdown.